Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Rob. Behind me that's Vandalion, and oh shoot, I didn't even look up the name of this lake I'm at. Somewhere East Texas, cruising along the highways, and it's definitely Texas now. It's nice. The humidity's gone, so I just took a swim in this lake, and I'm like dry, like 3 minutes later, and yeah, it's hot, real hot out, but the humidity back east, I think, was what was killing me, and now I don't feel so bad. So I think I made it to the west, and we got some wind ripping through. So I'm hoping that doesn't mess with the sound quality here, and kind of cocking my head to try and keep the mic out of the wind. And I'm really enjoying these little vlogs, and this one's a little different. It's middle of the day. I'm trying to do these more when I get to my destination and have a beer. And today I'm doing it kind of midway through the day. And I got a coffee. This is a high brew, and I really like the originals. The originals are just so good. This Mexican vanilla, just get the original. Slightly sweet. It's the best canned coffee out there. The Trader Joe's canned coffee is also good. Everything else is just bullshit. I'm not drinking that sugary nonsense. High brew, man. This stuff has made my life complete, and I feel like a full color human being after drinking one of these. So, get you some. And yeah, I'm loving it. Road trip's going great. Beautiful sunrise this morning at Lake Hawkins, and did a little swimming at that lake before I left. Was doing some work. Oh man, work's so busy, and it looks like next week's gonna be just crazy busy, and that's a little unfortunate because I'm just wanting to be doing my own thing, but that's the nature of life. Like, if the timing's just of when different things are happening, it just never seems to quite line up the way I want it to. So, gotta do what you can with what you got, and that's what I'm doing. Trying to keep my work happy. And I ran out of electricity. I got like a auxiliary battery in this thing that I use to charge the laptop and run like the auxiliary fan, and laptop was out of battery, auxiliary battery was dead, not charging it. So I had to move. So I gotta run the van so I can charge the laptop and charge the battery, and I did that. Had some work meetings, kind of stressful, but got through it. And I'm going to see my cousin TR, and I'll be getting there in a few hours to where he's at in Texas. And the reason, yeah, one reason I'm doing things a little differently, no beer, is he's alcoholic, drug addict, and sort of recovered. So doing my best to show up in the right headspace there, and just not having drunk beer. And my cousin, interesting. So I saw him 6 months ago when I first got this van. He's part of the reason I have this van, and I'm probably going to touch on this later. But I went to see him on this road trip with this van, and I had not seen him at that time in 10 years. We had a little sort of falling out of a sort of disagreement and didn't talk for 10 years. And he got back in touch a few years ago, and that was nice. And situations changed a bit. I was raised with this guy more or less, and I don't know, we didn't live in exactly the same town, but we're the same age, and we saw a lot of each other, and we were real close. And that we were close until, I don't know, age 17 or something like that, and went through a lot of growing up together. And yeah, I got a brother. My brother is more than 7 years older than me, and I love my brother. We get along great, but we never had like that growing up together thing where like you're getting in fights and stuff. That was my cousin. And and my cousin and I got in some fights, and man, we got in some trouble when we were teenagers, and some we got caught for, caused some rifts in my family, and between my aunt, his mom, and my mom and my dad, and a lot of it we got away with. Sorry, parents. There's some stories there I will never tell my parents, but it's dangerous being a teenager. At least it was for me, and and our life paths have been divergent to say the least. And so when he got back in touch a couple years, I was really happy. And that's when he told me that, his situation's changed a bit. Now he's in a wheelchair, and he was in a motorcycle accident and is paralyzed from like here down, and he's got the use of his arms, but basically from here down, so when he's sitting in his wheelchair, he's got to use his arm to hold himself up, because he'll just. And when I saw him 6 months ago, it was the first time I'd seen him since he was in a wheelchair, and I was surprised at how hard it was for me to just absorb that situation. And at one point in that visit, I had an out-of-body experience. I just left my body and was just like floating above my body in this fluorescent lit room, just like, and that has never really happened before to me in that way. And I'm glad I went to see him, and it was hard because our paths of life have just been so divergent, and I feel so blessed in so many ways. And a lot of crazy stuff has happened to him, and a lot of it his own doing. But the whole thing I was talking about in the past video about decisions and things, and one of the first things he said to me on my last visit is, I'm crazy, and like I've driven everyone out of my life that cares about me. And so he kind of understands so much. He's smart. He's a wicked smart dude, and he's really funny, and he just makes the most cutting, incisive jokes that just cut to the bone and are so funny. But I mean this with all the love in the world, but he doesn't know when to shut up. That's the other thing about him. And so, I decided I wanted to go see him, and it'd be easy for me to justify it as like, I want to show up and support him, but that's not what it is. I want to support me. I'm going to get something out of it. I'm not going for him. I'm going for me. And yeah, if I can help him, I want to. But even that act of like helping my cousin is getting something for me that I want. And so I've done a lot of thinking on this, and had some nice people to kind of help me understand that in my life. That my desire to reconnect with my cousin is more about me than it is about him. And so we'll see what it's like, and I'll make another video on the other side, and we'll see how that goes. What else is going on? I'm seeing a lot of cool birds out here. There were some scissor-tailed flycatchers, which is like a new one to me. Different flocks of migrating egrets into the sunrise this morning. Beautiful, beautiful sunrise with just these flocks of birds going against the wind. And I wish I was a better photographer than I was, but there's no way I can get a good picture or something like that. The only picture I can take of that is right here. And that's where it's going to live. And Texas is interesting, and it's different, and I like it. I like driving through, at least. I'm kind of excited to be making my way west. Excited to see the change in the vegetation, get out of that whole lush east thing. Right now I'm by a lake and there's trees around, but out on the highway it's pretty barren, and it's different looking. So I'm go make a little lunch. Got some carrots and hummus. Gonna eat on that. And I'll be checking back later with some more thoughts. Till then, YouTube.